Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this little easy pullover sweater here. I have it for two sizes. It's just a hook change. You can make it for a 4-5 or a size 6-7, and it looks pretty much the same on both sides, other than the color striping pattern is a little bit different. And it's got the ribbed edging on front and back and on the sleeves. So let's go ahead and get started on it. Okay. Here's the sweater. It's the same, pretty much. I mean, on front and back, the striping's a little bit different, but other than that, it's the same. And it turned out really cute. And let me move it to the side. And for this project, I used Red Heart Super Saver stripes. There's 236 yards per skein, and you're going to need to buy 3 skeins. So it takes about 2.5 to 2 3/4 skeins of this. The color I use is called Cool Stripes. Now I'll put a link below where you can purchase this yarn. It is an affiliated link, so if you do click on that, I get it like a little small percentage of the sales at no extra cost to you or anything. It just helps me out a little bit. But it's just a regular 4-ply 100% acrylic, so you don't have to use this yarn if you don't want to. Okay, if you want to make it for the size 4-5, which was what I did, you use a 5mm crochet hook. And if you want to make it for the size 6-7, you use the exact same pattern, but you use one hook size bigger. You want to use a size I 5.5mm crochet hook. And that is all the sizes that I have of right now. You can try maybe using a smaller hook for a smaller size or a bigger hook for a bigger size. I can't tell you whether or not it's going to work, but you know, that's what I would try to do. But I don't know, you might have to make it longer if you're making it for a bigger child. But those are the two sizes I have. Is the 4-5 is the 5mm, and the 6-7 is the 5.5mm, exact same pattern. Now, I already got my big piece done, so I'm going to show you on a smaller scale because it's actually really easy. But you want to start off with a chain of 56, and that's regardless whether you're making the 4-5 or the 6-7. It's just the hook size that's different. You follow me every other step of the way. So you chain 56, and then what you want to do is 1 double crochet in the 4th stitch from the hook. And remember, we don't count this one, so you count down 4 and double crochet. And now it's just 1 double crochet in every single stitch for the length of your chain. Just like this until you get to the end. Now when you get to the end of your chain, you should have a total of 54 stitches, and that is counting this little chain on the end. It counts as a stitch. Now remember, I'm doing mine smaller, so I don't have that many, but you should have a chain. You should have 54 stitches. Now what you want to do is just chain 3 and turn your work, and we're going to start not in this very first stitch, but the next stitch right here, and double crochet. And now it's just 1 double crochet in every stitch until you get to the end of the row. So actually it's just really easy. It's just double crochets. Just an easy, simple pullover. So 1 double in every stitch until you get to the end of the row. Okay, when you get to the end, your last stitch will always be a chain 3, and you need to just double crochet right into the top of it. And you should always have 54 stitches at the end of every row. And then you just chain 3 again. And you just repeat, doing rows of double crochet, starting in not this very first stitch, but the next one. 1 double in every stitch until you get to the end. And when you get to the end, your last stitch will always be that chain 3. I'll try to hurry up and get to the end of my little swatch here. And you want to make sure that you're going into the top of that chain 3 so your row doesn't, right here, doesn't end up crooked. And you'll always have 54 stitches at the end of every row, and you chain 3 and repeat. And now you want to do that for a total of 22 rows, and then we'll start on the neck hole. Okay, once you get your 22 rows done, now we'll make like a little neck hole. So what we're going to do is chain 3. You got 22 rows now, so we're going to chain 3 and turn our work. Now we're going to crochet 15 double crochets in a row. So this one, chain 3, counts as our first one. So then we'll go and do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then 15. So you got 15 counting that chain 3. Now we're going to do a chain of 24. 1, 2, 3. Just, it doesn't have to be a tight chain or anything. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Now we're going to skip 24 stitches, so we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and in the next one we're going to double crochet. So we skip 24, and then with this big long chain of 24 on your hook still, yarn over and go in to the next stitch after that 24 stitch and double crochet like that. And now you should have 15 double crochets remaining, counting this one. So counting that one, this will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12, 13, 14, and 15, and it goes into the top of that chain 3. So that was row 23. Now what we're going to do is chain 3 and turn our work again. Now we're going to put 1 double crochet in each of these stitches until you get to your chain space. So counting this one, chain 3, there'll be 15. Okay, now we're going to do 1 double crochet in every stitch of the chain. So there'll be 24 double crochets across here. So I'm just going to go 1 in each stitch of the chain. I'm going right into the stitch. You want to do this all the way down, and you'll have 24 here along this chain since we chained 24. Okay, I did 1 in every stitch of that chain there, and now I'm just going to continue putting 1 in the remaining 15 stitches here. So when you get to the end of row 24 here, you'll have 54 stitches again. Okay, I'm coming to the end of row 24, and I'm doing my last double crochet there into the top of my chain 3, and I have my 54 stitches again. Now I'm just going to repeat chain 3 and turn what we did down here, 1 double crochet in every stitch, and I'm just going to keep doing rows of that, and I'll have 54 stitches at the end of each row, so just like we did before. And we're going to do this for a total of 45 rows. So right now we're working on row 25, so we want to do it till we have a total of 45. Starting from our very first row, keep going. So I got, this was 22, 23, 24, and we're on 25. Keep going till you get a total of 45 rows. Okay, once you get your 45 rows done total, remember we had the 22 on this side, the 22 on this side, and then there was that one hat right here for the neck that we did. So it'd be a total of 45. Now we're going to sew it together, and I already got one side sewed. So you want to fold it in half. I always do it where you see the neckline up here, where the wrong side of the stitches are facing me. I make that the wrong side of my work. That way when I sew it up, I can flip it inside out, and then the right side of these top stitches will be facing me. Now that's not necessary. You don't have to do it that way. That's just the way that I do it. That way that first neck row up here is facing right side out. I just think it makes it look a little bit neater. So if you want to do it like that, just fold it where this first row right here of the neck is facing wrong side. So it's facing right, it's facing you right now. And then I'm going to use a piece of yarn and a yarn needle to whip stitch the sides together. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to count down at the bottom, and it's very important that you keep your rows lined up on this. And sometimes it's hard to tell because of the rows changing colors. But you want to count up 14 rows on both pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It is hard to tell because of the rows changing places. But then you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 rows around the sleeve that are empty. So start at the top of the 14th row right here, and the 14th row, the top of the 14th row of this one. And remember, it's very important that you keep these rows lined up. And I'm just going to go and kind of whip stitch it together. Grab a piece from this double crochet and a piece on the opposite side, go around. And I'm going to do this all the way down until my piece is sewed up completely. Now remember, I always stop and look and make sure I'm grabbing this row and lining them up like that, and then sewing. That way the rows aren't crooked. Now the colors aren't going to match since it's striped, but the rows need to be even all the way down. And if you don't keep them even, when you get down to the bottom, you just have to take it out. It will it won't line up, and it'll be all bumpy. So just take your time. I always just take my time, and I do one row at a time. And now I'm going to pop it out here and look, and I got this dark row here. I'm going to line it up with this row just like that. Hold it right here at the end of the rows, and then I'll sew these together too. And this is what I'm going to do on both sides. I already did one side, but you'll still need to do both of yours. And I know the piece looks short now, but that's how it's supposed to look because I'm going to add more rows at the bottom. So don't get discouraged about it looking kind of short. I tried it on my boy, and he's like, "Are you going to make it longer? It looks kind of funny." I'm like, "Yes, I still am. Now I'm gonna line the next 2 rows up like this. Hold it here at the end of them. That's the best way to do it to keep your rows straight. So I'm going to do this all the way down, and then I'll hide my tail and tie off, and then you'll want to do your other side. And then we'll start working on the bottom, making it a little bit longer. Okay, now I flipped mine right side out now, and you can see, like we talked about, my top row around the neck is the stitches are facing right side, and here's my seam. Now all the rows line up. Now the colors aren't going to match up because that's just the way it is, but as long as all the rows line up and it is sewed together evenly, you can kind of push the seam out a little bit if it seems stuck in. But there's the seam on that one, and I got the seam on the other side. I got the sleeve done already, but I jumped ahead, so I'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to start on the bottom now. Now you can start anywhere that you want, but I'm going to start actually just in the corner, one of these corners here. What I'm going to do is start in this corner here, right by the seam, and chain 3. Like that. And I want to do 1 double crochet in 5 stitches in a row. So this is going to be our first one. So I'm going to go to the next, and I'm going to put a double crochet. So that'll be 2, 3, oh, drop that one. Here's 3, 4, and 5. Now I'm going to do a double crochet decrease, or double crochet 2 together. What it's going to do is take the next 2 stitches and make it into 1. So what I'm going to do is yarn over and go into the next stitch and drop a loop, and yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on my hook. And I'm going to yarn over again and go into the next stitch and drop a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 stitches, and then I'm going to go through the remaining 3. So that took 2 stitches and made it into 1 stitch. So it's a double crochet decrease, or some people call it a double crochet 2 together. Now I'm just going to repeat that. So I'm going to work 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then I'm going to double crochet decrease over the next 2. So I'm going to yarn over, go into the next one, drop a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops. Again, I'm going to yarn over and go into the next stitch, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, and then yarn over and go through all 3 loops like that. So I'm going to repeat that all the way around until I get over here to my other seam, and I'll show you what we're going to do there. Okay, I'm coming over here to this seam. So I just did the double crochet decrease, so I want to do 5 in a row again. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Now what's important is that you get each of these 2 stitches that you crocheted together, they still count. So you do the top of this one would be number 4, and then this one over here that's crocheted together would be number 5, like that. So even though they are crocheted together, you still got to get the tops of them because they still count as stitches. And then I'll do my decrease over the next 2, and then I'm just going to continue my pattern, 5 in a row, and then a double crochet decrease, and I want to do that all the way around. Okay, I made it all the way around, and I just did my last double crochet decrease, and you should have 2 stitches left. So you got this one, and then you got just one that was sewed to the beginning one. So we're going to go ahead and put 1 double crochet in each of those. And then we started over here in the one that was sewed. So now you want to end with a slip stitch in your beginning chain 3, and you should have a total of 92 stitches now, all the way around. Now what I'm going to do is chain 3 and turn my work so I keep my rows going back and forth opposite like we were. So now I'm going to chain my work, or turn my work, chain 3 and turn my work, and now I'm going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch all the way around. No more decreasing. That's the only time that we're going to decrease on the bottom. Now we will do more decreases on the sleeves, but for right now it's just the bottom. And we're going to work the 1 double in every stitch until you get back around. And when you get back around, you still should have 92 stitches. Okay, I've made it back to the beginning. I got my 92 stitches, so I'm going to end with a slip stitch into my beginning chain 3. I'm on chain 3 and turn my work, and I'm going to go around one more time with 1 double crochet in every stitch. So I'm just going to start working 1 double in every stitch all the way around, and I still should have 92 stitches when I get back around. So once we just finish this row, we'll start putting some ribbing on the bottom just to give it a little detail, and it'll give it more length too. So 1 double every stitch all the way around until you get back to the beginning. Okay, I've made it back around. I got my 92 stitches, so I'm going to end with a slip stitch into my beginning chain 3. Now I'm not going to turn my work now. No more turning my work on the bottom here. So what we're going to do is chain 3, and this chain 3 is going to count as a back post double crochet. So I'm going to work a front post double crochet into the next stitch. So what it is, it's just a double crochet, but instead of working it into the top, you work it around the post like that, and then you just go ahead and double crochet. And now the next one that I do is going to be a back post. Same thing, double crochet, only we work it around the back side of the post. So we yarn over and we go from the back like that, and then back around, and then when you look, the post is on the back of your hook, and then you go ahead and do your double crochet. The back posts are a little bit more trickier than the front posts, but once you get the hang of it, they're pretty easy. And now we're going to do a front post around the next one, and then a back post around the next. So you just go from the back just like that, so your post is on the back of your hook, and then you do your double crochet. And we're just going to repeat that all the way around. Front post double crochet around the next, and then back post double crochet, front post double crochet, and then a back post double crochet. Just like that. So repeat that: front post double crochet, back post double crochet, all the way around until you get back to the beginning. You still should be having 92 stitches when you get back around, and that is including that beginning chain 3. So I'm going to keep working until I get back to the beginning. And that's what it starts to look like. Okay, I'm coming back around. My last stitch should have been a front post double crochet. Then I'm going ahead and in a slip stitch into my beginning chain 3, and you still should have 92 stitches. Now I'm just going to repeat that row again. So I'm going to chain 3, and I'm actually going to repeat it for a total of 4 times. So we're working, that was 1, and we're going to work on our second one, and we want to do it for a total of 4. So we're just going to yarn over and go into the next stitch, around the post of the next stitch, and front post, double crochet, and then back post around the post of the next stitch, like that, and then front post. All we're doing is keeping our posts lined up, and then we back post, and then we front post and back post, front post and back post. So I'm going to keep repeating this row, and as you can see, the more rows you do, the more the posts will start to show up. I'm going to do it for a total of 4 rows. So we're working on our second row. So when I get back around, I'll just slip stitch and start again, and you should always have 92 stitches at the end of each row. So I'm going to continue on my second round, and then I'm going to do a third and a fourth, and I'll meet you at the end of the 4th round of the post stitches. Okay, I got my 4 rows of the ribbing stitches done, or the back post, front post. So I'm going to end with the slip stitch into the top of my beginning chain 3, and I still should have 92 stitches. Now I'm just going to go around with 1 row of single crochet. So I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go back into that same stitch that I slip stitched into and single crochet. And now I'm going to single crochet 1 time into the top of every stitch all the way around. So no more front post or back post right now. It's just 1 single crochet into the top of every stitch. And this will give it a little bit more of a finished look. And when I get back to the beginning, I should still have 92 stitches. Just like that. Okay, I've made it all the way around. And now what you want to do is end with the slip stitch into the first single crochet, not the chain 1, but the first single crochet, and then you can tie that off and hide that tail. So there is the bottom now done. Now before we do the sleeve, I want to go around the neck here. So if there's a side that you like the striping better on than the other, they really look pretty much the same to me, so it doesn't really matter. But if there is, put that side that you like least in front of you right now. We're gonna start right up here. Okay, so I'm gonna start right. Okay, if you see right here is our double crochet, and then it's connected to this stitch right here. So we're going to start in that stitch. And we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work 1 single crochet into that stitch, like that. And I'm going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get over to my next side over there. Okay, I've made it to the other side, so I want to do a single crochet right here where this double crochet is connected. So now you should have 26 single crochets from our starting point. Okay, And now we're on where this double crochet is, right here. I'm going to work 2 single crochets through the side of this double. So I'm going to kind of just go into the side of it and work 1, and then to the side of the next one. The same double crochet, just kind of in the side of it, just kind of somewhere where you can fit it. It's not always the easiest to do. There's 2. And now this stitch right here that this double crochet is connected to, I'm going to put 1 single crochet in that. And now I'm going to go work along, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get to the other side again. Okay, I've made it down here to this side, and we need to go into this stitch here that the double crochet is this double crochet is connected to, right here, just like we did on the other side. So now we're at the side of this double crochet, and we need to get 2 stitches kind of worked into the side of this double crochet. Just kind of the best as you can. There's 1. Sometimes it's kind of tight, and there's 2. And now we're back at the beginning, and you should have a total of 56 stitches now, all the way around. What I'm going to do is go around one more time. So I'm going to use a stitch marker, and I'm just going to put it right here. That way I know where I end and where I begin. Now I'm just going to jump over to the first single crochet that we made, not that chain 1, but the first single crochet, and single crochet right into it. And now I'm going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch around until I get back to the beginning, or back to my stitch marker. And when I make it back to my stitch marker, I still should have 56 stitches. Okay, I've made it back to my stitch marker. I have 56 stitches. Let's go ahead and slip stitch into the next stitch. And I'll slip stitch one more time into the next one. And then I'm going to tie this off, take that stitch marker out, clip it, hide this tail, and then we will start on the sleeves. Okay, now we're going to work on the sleeve. So I got 1 sleeve done right here. So we'll go ahead and do the other. And we're going to start right down here in the corner. Now, there are 17 rows of stitches along here. And each one is either a double crochet or a chain 3. So, well, it looks like they might be all double crochets, but anyways, a double crochet or a chain 3. But what we need to do is put 2 single crochets to every one of these double crochets or the chain 3s that are at the end of the row. So 2 single crochets to each row. So what I'm going to do is start right here. In this row, either one, just the row that's down here by the seam, and I'm going to go right in kind of like the side of it, and I'm going to chain 1, and then I'll go back into that same spot and single crochet, and then I'm going to work a single crochet into that same row there, that same double crochet, and then I'll be up here. You can see the next double crochet, the next row, so I need to put 2 single crochets through that one. So there's 1, and just kind of space them out evenly, and there's 2. And now I'm at my next row, so 2 into this one, and I'm going to repeat this all the way around. And then my next row right here, so kind of just put 2 into this row. So there's 1 and 2. And we're going to do this all the way around until we get back over here to the beginning. And when you get done putting 2 single crochets to every double, you should have a total of 34 single crochets. Okay, I've made it around to the beginning, and I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into my first single crochet, not that chain 1, and I should have 34 single crochets. Now I'm going to chain 3, and I'm going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch all the way around. So I should have 34 double crochets, counting that chain 3, when I get back around to the beginning. And this is row 2 of the sleeves. Okay, I'm coming to the end, and I got my 34 stitches, so I'm going to go ahead and end with the slip stitch into my beginning chain 3. So that's row 2 or round 2 of the sleeves. So now I'm going to chain 3 and turn my work. So we're keeping with the same back and forth design that we had in the front on the sleeves, so it looks the same. So turn our work, and now again it's just 1 double crochet in every stitch all the way around. And when you get back to the beginning, you should have 34 stitches still. Okay, I've made it to the end of row 3, and I slip stitch into my beginning chain 3. So I'm going to chain 3 and turn my work again. And now I'm just going to keep kind of repeating this. So now I'm starting row 4, and it's 1 double crochet in every stitch all the way around. And when I get back around, I'll have 34 stitches still. And then I'll want to turn my work. And I want to keep doing this, and I want to do it for 6 rows or 6 rounds. Right now we're working on round 4. So we'll go all the way around, and then we'll turn our work and do it again and do round 5. Go all the way around, turn our work, and then we'll do round 6. So keep doing the 1 double crochet in every stitch, turn in each round until you get to round 6. Remember, single crochet was our first row. 2, 3, we're working on a 4th one, and we want to get to 6. Okay, I've made it to row 6, and now I'm going to chain 3 and turn my work. So now you should be working kind of on the inside. That's where we're at now, like that. Now what we're going to do is 6 double crochets in a row, and then we're going to do a double crochet decrease. Now this chain 3 counts as our first one, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're going to do a decrease. So we yarn over and go into the next stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops. Then we're going to yarn over and go into the next stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, and yarn over and go through all 3. So just like we did on the bottom. Now again, we're going to put 1 double crochet into the next 6 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then do your double crochet decrease over the next 2 here. Just like that. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. Okay, I'm coming around on row 7 of my sleeve, and I just did my last decrease, and I have 2 stitches left, so I'm going to go ahead and put 1 double crochet in each of those last 2 stitches. And now I'm going to end row 7 with a slip stitch into my beginning chain 3, and now you should have a total of 30 stitches all the way around. So I'm going to chain 3, turn my work, and now I'm just going to do 1 double crochet in every stitch all the way around. just like this. So we won't be decreasing now. And I'm going to keep repeating this row of 1 double crochet in every stitch. Oh, and then we turn at the end of every row. We want to make sure we always turn. And I'm going to do that until we get 11 rows done. So right now we're working on starting from the very first single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're on row 8. So we're going to do the 1 single crochet in every stitch, turning at the end of each row until we get 11 rows done. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that, and I'll meet you up here in just a second. Okay, I made it to row 11. Now what I'm going to do is chain 3 and turn my work. And now what I'm going to do is a row of decreases again for row 12. So now I'm going to do 4 double crochets in a row and then a decrease. So this counts as number 1. Here's 2, 3, and 4. And then I'll decrease over the next 2 like that, and then I'm going to repeat that. 1 double crochet into the next 4, and then double crochet decrease over the next 2. Just like that. And now I'm going to repeat that all the way around back to the beginning. Okay, I'm coming to the end of row 12, and your last stitch should be the decrease stitch. And then you want to end your round 12 by slip stitching into your beginning chain 3, and now you should have 25 stitches. So I'm going to chain 3 and turn my work, and rounds 13 through 17 is going to be 1 double crochet in every stitch. 25 double crochet at the end of every row, and make sure you turn your work at the end of every row too. So work till you get to 17 rows. Okay, I've made it to the end of row 17, and I slip stitch into my chain 3, and I still have my 25 stitches. So now for row 18, I'm going to chain 3, turn my work. Now I'm going to put 1 double crochet in 3 stitches and then a double crochet decrease. So this counts as number 1. There's 2, 3, and then decrease over the next 2. That. 1 double crochet over the next 3. 1, 2, 3, and then double crochet decrease. Now I'm going to repeat this all the way around until I get back to the beginning. Okay, I've made it back around, and you should have ended in a decrease. Slip stitch into the top of your beginning chain 3, and now you should have a total of 20 stitches this time around. Now, there it is. Okay, now I'm going to chain 3, turn my work, and now I'm going to do 1 round of 1 double crochet in every stitch. So this is round 19 that I'm working on, and it's just 1 double in every stitch, and you should have 20 stitches when you get back around to the beginning. Okay, I ended round 19 with the slip stitch into the top of my beginning chain 3, and I still have 20 stitches. So now I'm going to chain 3 and turn my work. Now I'm going to be doing the post stitches again, like we did at the bottom. So this chain 3 is kind of counting as a back post. So I'm going to do a front post double crochet around the next stitch, and a back post double crochet around the next stitch. and then a front post, and then a back post. So right now we're working on round 20. I'm going to do this front post, back post, repeat like we're doing till we get to round 23. So this is round 20. So I'm going to do this all the way around, and then when I get back to the beginning, I'll have 20 stitches still. And I just slip stitch into my chain 3, and then I repeat this round again. And you just do these rounds of post until you get to round 23. Oh, I just want to say on these post stitches, there's no more turning your work. So we just keep lining the post up like we did at the bottom of the sweater. And we just keep doing this until we get to row 23. Okay, I've made it to row 23. I know this might seem kind of small, but just give it a little stretch, because then post stitches kind of make things come together, but it'll stretch out. Go ahead and end with the slip stitch into the top of your chain 3. Now I'm going to do one more round, around 24. I'm going to chain 1, single crochet back into the same stitch, and now it's just 1 single crochet in every stitch around to clean up or make the sleeve look more finished like we did on the bottom. And when you get back around, you should have 20 stitches still. So just continue around, 1 single crochet in every stitch. Okay, when you make it back to the beginning, you want to go ahead and end with the slip stitch into your first single crochet, not the chain 1, but the first single crochet. And you can tie that off, clip your yarn, hide that tail, and then both sleeves are made the same. And I already got my other sleeve done, so I am finished. That's it. That's all there is to it. Pretty cute. If you make this or anything else, you can always post a picture on my Bagoday Crochet Facebook page. I'll put a link to that below in the description box. Also put a link to my Instagram account if you want to follow me on there and check out what I'm doing there. And don't forget to check out all my other tutorials. I have hundreds of them. And until next time, have a good day.